What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a full facial analysis of my face using FaceIQLabs, which is my friend FaceIQ's recently launched software that basically takes over 60 measurements of your face and it tells you whether your ratios and whether the measurements are within the ideal range for your specific ethnicity and for your specific phenotype. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's a lot of debate online about what my looks level is. A lot of people think I'm a sub 5, some people think I'm a normie, and very, very few people, I don't know what they're on, but hey, apparently some people think I'm a Chad. So, we're gonna find out objectively what I actually am using this. Now, side note, this doesn't give you a face rating. This gives you a facial harmony score. So the score that it gives you just tells you how well your features go together and whether your ratios are off, whether your proportions are off, but it doesn't actually give you a face rating. Because somebody who has very striking features, who doesn't have the best facial harmony, someone like, for example, Timothy Chalamet, he doesn't have the best facial harmony, but he's still above average looking. So this software so far just tells you your facial harmony score and just tells you the specific features in your face that are lacking. And if you guys want to try this software for yourself, FaceIQ himself has kindly made me an affiliate. So if you use the link in the description and use code YBC, you're going to get 20% off. So make sure you use that, have fun with the software, try it out for yourself. So as you guys can see, you can obviously input your gender, but your race and ethnicity actually matters because the ideal range for certain measurements and certain ratios are going to vary depending on your ethnicity. So from my understanding, somebody who is East Asian is going to have a completely different set of criteria and standards for what constitutes good facial harmony than somebody who is white or somebody who is black. And that's a given. And the great thing about the software is that it accounts for that. And I'm pretty sure you can also put multiple ethnicities. So if you're many different things, it also accounts for that as well, which is very cool. Now, I'm obviously going to put my own ethnicity, which is Middle Eastern. That's right. For those of you guys who don't know, I am Middle Eastern. And I'm going to be using this photo over here for my front profile, 6 feet away, 2x zoom, just like it asks. And before it actually gives you a score, it's going to need you to map certain things. So you can see here, for example, hairline. Mine is right there. Your left pupil, your right pupil. And it does this automatically, I think, but if there's something off, you have to manually change it yourself. Lower lip, chin, so you can see here this one's slightly off, it should be there. Ear, left outer ear, right outer ear. So there's a bunch of different points that you have to map pretty much. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So for my side profile, as you guys can see, there's 28 different points that we have to map for that as well. So for the front there was 45. For this, there's 28. So in your first time doing this, it's probably going to take you a while to map all of the points. But after you're done that, it should get easier if you want to do other faces or if you want to do comparisons. So I'm just going to skip all of this and we're going to get to my actual score and measurements. So there you guys go. As you can see, 5.62 overall, which is top 36% good harmony. So I'm like right here in the bell curve, which honestly isn't bad. Above average harmony. So I'll definitely take that. And the cool thing about this is it actually takes an average between your front and your side profile as well. So you can see that my front profile got a 5.71, which is top 32%. And then my side profile got a 5.57. And then obviously it's going to tell you all of your ratios and the things that are holding you back. So as you guys can see, I failed the 1 eye apart test. That's brutal, bro. I think my eyes are too far apart. I got 0.39 out of 10. And it seems that I'm quite far outside the ideal range. So the cool thing about this is it actually tells you your flaw. So it says overly small eyes, which fair enough. I do get that often. I get that I have pretty small eyes. Increased separation in the 1 eye apart test indicates excessive intercanthal distance. So yeah, pretty much my eyes are too far apart. That's like my biggest flaw from my front profile. And then we have your lower third proportions as well. As you can see, mine obviously isn't ideal. So this percentage here is 36.5%, and ideally it should be between 30 to 33. So I'm quite a bit higher than what is ideal, of course. So this is indicating that I might need some forward growth to actually fix this specific problem. We have nose tip position. I don't know about this though. Droopy nose. I don't think my nose is that droopy. I just think I probably mapped this slightly wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping here. But and then we have face width to height ratio. You can see that mine is 1.75 and ideally it should be between 1.9 and 2.06, which indicates a long mid face because my face should be more compressed, but it's longer than it should be. So, you know, your boy's suffering from a bit of horse face, but it's all good. So then we have cheekbone height. We can see that mine are medium set. I actually think this should be a bit higher, but maybe, I don't know, bro. Maybe I fucking mapped this shit wrong, which I guess is a moderate flaw. Ideally, you want your cheekbones high set because it gives you a more dimorphic and a more masculine look, which is what we should be looking for. Mine is 70.66%, and ideally it should be 81 to 100%. And then everything else seems to be okay, like eye aspect ratio, overly round eyes. My eyes should be a bit. So yeah, we have a bunch of other things. If you guys can check these ratios out for yourself, I'm not going to explain every single one, but these are my biggest flaws from the front profile. Everything else seems to be quite good. So, you know, that's why we got a 5.62. I'm very happy with that, actually. I'll take it. And then from my side, we can see that, so we can see that the nasomental angle is 140, and it should actually be less than that. It should be between 125 to 132, which here it says that it indicates an over projected chin and some maxillary recession. So that's very interesting. Your boy's recessed. Double jaw surgery. Comment down below if I should get double jaw surgery. Nasofacial angle. Again, another thing that indicates some recession. This angle here indicates a round neck region. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's another flaw. Nasal tip angle. Damn. Did I measure this wrong? That doesn't look right. Okay, maybe I measured this wrong. Maybe it is a flaw. Maybe my nose should be projected more forward a little bit. But anyways, we move on. Facial depth to height ratio. So this the facial depth to height ratio evaluates forward facial growth. Yeah, so most of the flaws here are because of some recession, some maxillary recession, which I already knew that I had a little bit, but it's cool. And then everything else seems to be okay, I guess. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. So, you know, we got a 5.62 overall, which I'm very happy with. Now, the interesting thing is that if I change my race, my score is actually going to change. So let's see what happens if I go white, for example. Interesting. So my score actually goes up quite a bit. It went from like 5.6, 5.84. So it seems like my facial proportions better fit somebody who is white than somebody who is Middle Eastern, which is interesting. And then let's try, you know, for example, East Asian, because, you know, a lot of people say that I look Asian, dude. I get that quite a bit. So I actually think my harmony would be a lot better if I was East Asian, which, holy shit, it is. Guys, I'm fucking Asian, I guess. Holy shit. So you can see a significant difference when I change my race to East Asian. Now I'm top 8.6%, whereas before I was like top 30%. So it seems like East Asian ratios much better fit my face than Middle Eastern ideal ratios, which is pretty cool to look at as well. Yeah, man, that's really cool. If I was East Asian, I'd only have a couple flaws, which you can see here, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, anyways, that's my facial harmony score. Let me know if you guys agree with it. Once again, if you guys want to do this for yourself, link in the description, code YBC for 20% off. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.